Balake. Where is Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Ron.
Ron is here, everyone. Thank you for joining me yet again for some more SPTV, where every day is just a great day not to be in a cult. Hope everybody's having a fantastic Wednesday. Guys, Scientology is going absolutely crazy looking for leaks. And this has to do, believe it or not, this has to do with Mark Bunker's Clearwater City Council campaign. Mark Bunker, for you guys who may not know, an OG warrior in exposing Scientology fraud and abuse. And he won an election for Clearwater, Florida City Council 4 years ago. He's running for re-election right now. Scientology is going to do absolutely anything and everything they can to prevent him from getting reelected. And the fact that donors to a political campaign is a matter of public record is one of the ways Scientology is using this, and has in the past, which is the story I'm going to share with you right now, used this as a way to find leaks and spies and double agents in the ranks of Scientologists. I'm going to read you an email I got. You guys aren't going to believe that. And I'm going to tell you that story right after a word from today's sponsor. Guys, the #1 sponsor of SPTV is Ridge. If you've been considering getting one of Ridge's slim wallets or their key cases or even their rings or their watches, now is the best time. Ridge has partnered with Hennessy for their summer sweepstakes, which means you have an opportunity to win a brand new upgraded Hennessy Ford Bronco or $75,000 if you prefer cash. September 30th is the last day of the sweepstakes. From now until then, you get 2 entries for every $1 spent on Ridge's website, or for Hennessy branded product, 10 entries per $1 spent. So check out Ridge's wallets, key cases, rings, and watches. Use my link ridge.com/AA-run to get 10% off site-wide and to get 10 bonus entries at checkout in Ridge's Hennessy Summer Sweepstakes. All right, everyone, there you go. Ridge is the real deal and the #1 sponsor of SPTV. A lot of people do ask how they can help the channel. One of the ways to help the channel is by supporting our sponsors. So check out that, go to ridge.com/AA-run and get whatever you want. Okay, so guys, check this out. Some of you know that 2 years ago, I ran for Clearwater City Council, and it was a close race, considering I was being fought heavily by Scientology. All the Scientologists voted for my opponent, and the political establishment was absolutely out for blood as well. So, but I had over 1,000 donors to my campaign from every state in the United States. Now, the fact is, every single person who donates to the campaign, when you go to the website, and by the way, the website is linked down below, markbunker2024.com. If you're watching this video, please consider throwing a few bucks to Mark Bunker's re-election campaign. The campaign finance laws are such that everybody who donates has to put in their name, their address, email, whatever. It has to be a real person, and everyone who donates, it's a matter of public record. The campaign finance reports get published every month. They get submitted every month to the city. The city publishes it on their website. It's a public record. Well, Scientology's like, ooh, I bet there's some undercover, under the radar Scientologists who don't realize that these are public records. And we're going to be able to find out who's secretly supporting the SPs by going through these campaign finance reports. So let me tell everyone real quick. If you're an under the radar Scientologist, actually, let me take a step back. If you've never had anything to do with Scientology and you don't have any family members in Scientology, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Scientology does not give a damn about you donating to Mark Bunker's re-election campaign. If you're an under the radar Scientologist, you already know Scientology gives very much of a damn. What I didn't appreciate, and what I didn't appreciate until someone sent me an email about it yesterday, is that Scientology went through these lists not just looking for people who are currently in good standing with Scientology. They went through the lists looking for even non-Scientologist family members of people who are in good standing with Scientology. So if you're an under the radar Scientologist presently and you want to support Mark Bunker, or if you're not a Scientologist, never been a Scientologist, but you have family members who are, you very much might want to consider encouraging one of your friends, a non-Scientologist who does no connections whatsoever, to donate to Mark Bunker instead. I'm going to read you an email that I got that tells this story, and this is absolutely incredible. I'm not going to share it just in case I've forgotten to edit something out that I wanted to edit out. that I wanted to edit up, but I'm going to read it to you. I've removed all the identifying information that the person who sent me this email asked me to remove. That being said, I'm still going to be extra cautious and just read this to you and not screen share it. Okay. Short email, but stick with me because this is a hell of a story. I have felt compelled to tell you the story for a while now. And after seeing your chats with Mark Bunker and requests for campaign donations, I decided now was the time. I have several family members involved in Scientology. My sister and her husband are OT7. My other family member and her husband are on OT7. I have never been in Scientology. Long story short, I ended up getting a call from both family members at the same time. They called so both family members got on the phone together and called this non-Scientologist family member. Before this phone call, we had had a major blow up and had not been in touch for years. Well, the disagreement between the two of us was pushed aside, and they confronted me about having contributed to your city council campaign. Before I realized it, now realize this person's never been in Scientology, so it's not like this person had anything, to lose really if they would have been found out or anything. But this is like Scientology just can't get out of their own way. They cannot help but continue to make their situation worse and worse and worse by harassing people for no good reason. All right. So before I realized it, I was being handled and my bad intentions were being assessed. I was asked to disclose all of my thoughts and knowledge about Scientology. I can just imagine this. Well, what do you know about Scientology? What have you heard? What do you believe? Where did you hear that? I mean, I can literally hear the conversation in my head. I did my best to manage the situation without further damaging our relationship, something which I cared about and they faked caring about. They attempted to keep me on the phone until they felt satisfied that I was not a threat to Scientology. Obviously, the goal was to protect Scientology. At one point, I said, this is getting really weird. And I ended the phone call after about 3 hours. 3 hours. This poor person's family members are trying to handle them on disaffection about Scientology and all this crap simply for having donated to my campaign. Now, I'll tell you what, one of the reasons this person told me in the email how much she donated, the reason I'm not even going to say that figure is because Scientology will go through my old campaign finance reports from 2 years ago, and they will scour that report looking for people who donated that exact amount to try and figure out exactly who I'm talking about right now. Now, the truth is, it doesn't matter if they find out who I'm talking about right now. I'm only being careful, honestly, to make their job harder. Like if they're going to go through all the trouble of, trying to harass people, might as well make it as hard on them as possible, make it as time intensive on their part as possible. That is exactly what they would do. Okay. A few years ago, I published, some people contacted me, some non-Scientologist friends contacted me about a friend of theirs who'd been a very, very, very good friend of theirs for many years. And they were shocked to discover that they just learned that this woman had been a Scientologist the whole time. And not only had she been a Scientologist, she was extremely successful professionally speaking. She was like a CFO for a large publicly traded company. She was about to quit her house, quit her job, sell her house, and move to Clearwater full time to go from Clear to OT7. And they're like, how can we help this, our friend get out of Scientology? And in the process of having this conversation, one of them had shared an invoice with me, a year-end statement indicating how much money this person had donated to Scientology that year, specifically the Flag Service Organization. And I blacked out everything. On that invoice, except for, and in retrospect, this was a mistake, except for the year and the dollar amount. In retrospect, I don't know why I thought that was going to be enough. Scientology went through their computer system to find out who had donated that much money in that year, and then contacted that person to find out how their invoice ended up in my hands. This is how crazy Scientology is and how far they will go to find out Who's leaking information to the big bad SPs? Okay, let's see. The rest of this email says, yes, after 3 hours, I got off the phone with them. You probably already know this, and perhaps this is just confirmation for you, but Scientology is going over campaign contributions to identify if they know any of the contributors, and then they act accordingly. My family member said that she got this information just because she looked into all of the candidates as any good citizen would. I also know that she got in trouble and she was blamed for my transgression. Amazing. It might be important for people who contribute to Mark Bunker's reelection campaign that to know that Scientology, that if they're Scientologists or under the radar Scientologists or have family members who are Scientologists, Scientology will find out, and that is certainly true. This might put some people into a compromising situation. I know that I will be encouraging other people to contribute to Mark Bunker's campaign so that my name is not on the donors list. Thank you so much for all you do and all the people you help along the way, including myself. Isn't that interesting? Sometimes people ask the question, what is it that Sea Org members actually do all day? And when you have for the most part, the answer to that question is think of any normal business and any normal business functions. And those are the exact same functions that Sea Org members do, whether it's HR, hiring and recruitment, fundraising, accounting, delivery, quality control, business development. Scientology's got all those functions. But one of the things that they do, since they have a near unlimited amount of tax exempt money and a near unlimited amount of human capital in terms of Sea Org members who are working 100 hours a week for $50 a week, they do this kind of stuff. Scour through the 1,000 names of people who've donated to a campaign from every state in the United States and see if we can figure out if any of these people are related to any of our people. And then let's get them to make really uncomfortable phone calls to those family members and figure out, assess the threat. What is the threat level? Oh my God, these people aren't going to be allowed on auditing lines until it gets determined. How much of a threat is their family member? Anyway, for me, the cherry on top of the story is that this family member who's, having to almost be secretive has never been in Scientology. For me, that's just the cherry on top. That's just cherry on the cake for this story. All right, guys, that is it for this one. Just wanted to share that with you. And also just a wonderful excuse to remind all of you guys in the SPTV Nation. I've said this several times recently, but this channel is up to a point right now where every week we have about 1 million unique viewers. And I think so far, Mark Bunker's probably got about 250 unique donors in the first week of his campaign. Those are huge numbers, you guys. Huge numbers. 200. And by the way, instead of giving a daily update on how much money Mark has raised for his campaign, we want it. Mark has to file monthly reports. And we want it to be a surprise to the competition how much Mark is going to have managed to have raised by the end of this first month. I was going to do daily reports because I like giving the stats every day. But we want it to be a little bit of a surprise. So if you're watching and you haven't donated yet, and you're in the United States, you're a U.S. citizen, please consider donating. And I think the first report is probably due like October 21st or something like that. And I think everyone's going to be very pleasantly surprised how much support Mark Bunker has gotten from all you guys out there in the SP Nation. All right, everyone, I am about to do, in about 15 minutes, I'm going to do a live interview with a guy you've never heard from before on my channel, former Sea Org member Mike Brown. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. We're going to be back very soon. Thank you, as always, to everyone who watches until the very, very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.